Good evening. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the West Bend Community Memorial Library Board for July 16th. I'd ask for an approval of the agenda.
What agenda?
The
There are
second,
two of them.
the second agenda, the amended agenda that was
That
sent.
doesn't, this agenda, it should say amended on it. There's nothing on this that says amended, and it should be on there. Because in our records, we have two agendas.
Okay,
And it's just a-
What would be nice is the day and the time it was amended.
Yeah.
If we get it in, this is a big,
Okay.
if we get into multiple amendments all of a sudden in a couple of days, to that point, it would be nice in the future to have that.
Sure.
I make a motion to approve this agenda.
The amended one?
Yeah.
with the amended agenda. Okay. Who
I'll
is-
second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes from the June 18th meeting and also approval of the library expenditures for June of 2019.
So move.
Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Financial reports, fund balance.
All right. Well, the first page is pretty basic, same as usual. There we go. So in the Parks Fund, on the second page of the Treasury report, Treasury Finance report, we had a check go out for the park maintenance in June to Scott's Landscaping. And then for the non-restricted account, we had a bunch of checks going out for family nights. Those would be to Mark Hayward, Paul Kinzer, The Magic of Isaiah, Geoff Akins, Rick Ponzio, Kimberly Wegland, and the Wisconsin DNR. We had the Monarch program get a payment, it was, and then we did get interest of $1.60 on the account.
On a question
Yep.
on the first page.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I'm reading this wrong, you show the Patrons Park Fund of $75,000.
Mhm.
How did it increase so much?
It didn't.
And then what happened to our 43,000 of the CD?
Building.
That's because the interest was applied, so.
No, no.
No. If you apply the interest, you don't lose the principal.
Where, you mean over here it's missing?
On the
Oh, yeah,
first
there.
page.
Yep.
Yeah, that I didn't touch, that was from
Carrie.
city, yeah, so.
You're supposed to put that
You
in there.
put that in there.
Yep,
That's your responsibility.
Okay.
yep. And the Patrons Park Fund was your responsibility as well,
Oh, okay.
so,
And if that total is indeed 75,352.
It is not.
Which is,
It's
no,
not.
it's the total on the second page.
No, it's this right here, 73, so I'm wondering, what was, it was 38,342 last month. If you take the 43,000 away from the 73,000, then it becomes 32,352. So what happened to the 6,000?
Where are you getting the 40,000 from?
amount should be written in there.
You're responsible for that. You should know it. It's 43,000 that's in that market linked certificate of deposit.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Okay, you've got the Patrons Park Fund, and it looks like the market linked fund combined. I don't know.
And you mean for the 75,000,
Right.
you're saying? No, this is just what, no.
So what is the 75,000?
The 75,000 is just what was on the sheet that I received from the city. Yeah,
Joe, what I'm trying to tell you is,
No,
you
yeah.
just don't take it for
No,
blank. And
Yeah.
if you take a look at last month's report, did you compare this to last month's report?
I did, yes.
Then why didn't you see that there was the 43,000 in question?
Because I didn't look too deeply into this first page.
Why not? This is an official report for the libraries.
Because I wasn't aware that the first page was really something I had to do anything with.
I think part of the issue is when Jim left, he really didn't, did Jim have a,
There was
No
nothing
turnover
really in
meeting.
there, Yeah.
okay.
I'm not trying to be a smartass.
No, I
But
understand. Yeah.
you're here because you are an accountant.
Mhm.
And as an accountant, would you accept that in business?
I'm-
With your employer, would you accept that somebody just told you? And you report it that way, and you look at the past, at the previous month, and you've got an account that's got money in it, and now it's gone.
I suppose probably not.
All right. So I think we ought to have this corrected.
Sure.
But also, I'd like to know where the 6,000 went.
6,000 from
From the memorial fund?
well, no, it's listed at 30, I gotta calculate. So you're saying, Doug, the restricted patrons park fund is at 37,000,
No, there is, the market-linked certificate of deposit is 43,000.
right?
Okay. You subtract that from what is apparently a combination of that and the patrons park fund.
Yes,
So if you subtract 43,000 from that, that leaves $32,352.
352. So where is the difference between that and the dollar
then last month, we
amount?
had 38,342 in that account. So where'd the 6,000 go?
I see what you're saying.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. mhm.
Okay, where'd it go? That's my question.
Can I see your math, or do you have it in your,
At what?
or whatever your math you were looking at?
Yeah, just take your 70, here, take a look at last month. You had 43,000, you had 38,000,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
So
This month, you've got 75,000, but no 43. So you take the
Right.
43 from the 75, that leaves 32 that would be there. But last month it was 38. So where did the 6,000?
Well, I don't, this number isn't accurate, the 75.
I know that, that's what I'm telling you, the way you get at it is you take 43 from this, and that has to go up there.
Could we give Joseph a chance to revise this and then get back to us
Well, yeah, but I wanna,
after he's had a chance to
I'd
look
like
at
to
it?
find out where the 6,000 went.
Okay,
Well, that would be part of it, I mean, not to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
so a task would be that, Joseph, you'll take this and compare it to last, reconcile this with the last one,
Yes.
and if you could get a report to Amy, she can distribute that to the board.
Sure. Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
Mhm.
thanks for catching that, Doug. Are there any other issues or concerns on the report? Just as an FYI, this month we received payment from the county for the county capital. So that should be a new line that we're gonna start seeing on this report. Okay. Do you know how much the money was for the county capital?
53,000 and change.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact number.
I knew it went down because of the way they rechanged it. That's fine, I was just curious.
53,687.
Thank you.
53,687.
So that'll be showing up on, next month as a capital.
Yeah,
And of course,
We received that like July 3rd. so.
Okay.
No, for what period is that? For the year?
For the year. That gets paid at the end of June every year.
Or does that then become a separate line item?
We haven't had it because the city has been taking that money to pay that.
It's money we find in our pocket. We've been down this conversation.
Yep,
We've been waiting for that to show up on our line item.
yep.
That's why I brought it up. It's a,
As soon as you said that, we knew we were talking about that.
Yep,
Okay.
okay.
all right, so next month there'll be another line. Okay.
B.
Next item will be the electronic banking for library accounts at BMO. We wanted an update on that. We had asked for an update.
Yeah, well, I think a large part of the reason we wanted to bring it up again was just because it hadn't officially been approved last time, and we decided it probably should be approved.
Have you done it?
No, I've not done it yet.
Why do you want to do it?
Because then I can get access directly for the bank reconciliation, or the bank statements and everything. They don't have to get sent to the library first, and then have me come pick them up.
Why don't you just have them mailed to you? That's what they were doing in the past.
Because
I always got them.
I wasn't aware that was an option.
You just go to the bank and tell them send them to me.
Well, I mean, I can if that's what we prefer.
Well, no, I'm asking, why do we want to do it? I'm curious.
Well, go ahead.
And
Finish, I'm sorry.
well, and then the other reason I would like to do it is because then I have instant, I could look whenever I want to see what the balances are in the accounts. I don't have to wait for the statements or call the bank or go into the bank.
You got your checking account.
Well, yeah, but, I mean,
Oh, you got your checking account.
well,
Don't you keep your checking with your checkbook?
yes, but, I mean, then why do we need statements if I have a checking account, under the same logic?
Because you always get a statement from the bank.
Last month, though, we talked about this, and I asked Amy and you to check, because my concern is,
When did we talk about
last month it was
it? Not
brought,
in the meeting.
No, it was
Did
brought
we-
up, it was brought up when we were discussing the.
no, I
finance
thought it was,
later.
No.
I thought we talked about it
Check
last
the minutes,
month.
it's not in the minutes.
No?
No.
Okay, then we pushed it out. Well, why would you have said we needed approved? I thought we talked about it and
No,
we might have talked about it and then
We
said it
discussed
had
before
to.
the meeting and initially said we didn't think it needed to be approved.
But then I thought about it and we talked
Okay.
about the
Okay,
possible,
The potential for me to say, create an ACH or whatever, and then I think that was the reason.
okay. My concern is, because I do electronic banking, and this isn't a reflection on you or anything, but we need 2 signatures to sign a check. In electronic banking, you can move funds like slick, and I had asked about that. How does the bank control something like that?
I don't think they really can.
See,
Did you
that's
ask
my,
them? Wait, did you ask them?
I have not, no.
So what? This kind of blows my mind. We're sitting down at a meeting and we're saying that it got approved last month.
I must
That
have,
was not
Yeah.
it was
approved.
not
No,
approved.
And it
Right.
wasn't even discussed.
Right.
Well, it was mentioned before the meeting, not during the meeting.
That's not the meeting, that's not really the
Okay.
meeting.
meeting.
Correct.
Then an assumption is made that we want to go ahead with it without your checking. And if you want to bring this up, you should be checking with the bank what these potential, say, downfalls are, and you didn't. Would you do the same thing with your employer? I hate to put you on the spot, but I
Well,
mean,
I mean, it
you're the
depends on
financial
the
person, that's
situation.
your responsibility to the board.
It depends on the situation.
Okay.
If we're talking about just having access electronically so that you don't need to deal with paper and the time delay, I think in 2019, we ought to be doing this, I mean, not allowing on the paper records, even though checkbook or paper statements. But as far as the transferring funds, I wondered if that would be a separate issue. I've never dealt with anything at the bank where the account needed more than one.
Signature.
signatures.
You can get deep enough where you can get two-layer control, where if I approve
Yeah.
a draft, you then
I
get it or
would
something
think
like
so.
that.
I would think
They
so.
would have that, but I don't know what kind of account we have, and that's outside my expertise realm.
I
I think if we're gonna go electronic records, I personally don't care, because I don't want a paper statement in anything I do, because I'd rather have it electronically. In my mind, it should be delivered to Amy, and then Amy forwards it on to whoever is the treasurer, so we have record of that. I think of open records requests, past things, it's easier to get from a library account than it is whoever's sitting in the treasurer chair at that point. I'm more into the whole, I'd like to know what the controls are, and
That's
that
my point.
that's paper and electronic. I think that's what really needs to be discussed, not if we get a paper copy or a PDF copy. In my mind, I don't care personally. That's an ease of whoever wants anything, it's more about who can take the money.
And
It's the reality of it.
that's my concern, not that somebody would, but you know, in the future, somebody comes on, what if you get a president who's unscrupulous and says, I'm going to Vegas? And,
That's why you have those controls.
Yes,
Right.
If
yeah.
they have the ability to do it, we should take advantage of that.
Yeah.
okay,
So
so
that's another task.
that will be another task. We will table this again until we have the final resolution on what can be done.
What's the task?
The task is to check with the bank, find out what are the controls, bring back to us next month the information on the different controls that there would be if it would go electronically.
Did you check the bylaws?
I did not look into
Did
it.
you check with the insurance company?
No, I don't have any contact information for the insurance company.
Yes, did you pay the bill?
Well, yeah,
The bill is in the
Wait
records.
a minute. You paid the bill.
I write the check.
Didn't you go out to
I
Richards?
didn't write this check. This was done before.
Okay, but you know who it is.
I can
and
look
that's
it
yours.
up who it is, yes.
That's your
Okay,
responsibility.
Let's table this. That'll be his responsibility to do a full analysis.
You didn't even know about the full analysis until we talk about
I didn't either.
bylaws, and we talk about the insurance carrier, because you're bonded. And if the insurance carrier doesn't give you a written statement that they'll buy into that, we may not be bonded. And the
Interesting.
bank cannot do two signatures, they do it through like PayPal. You sign a check, and the bylaws say two signatures on a check.
I did not know that either. And I'm glad you have that knowledge. So we'll put that on as a task and move on to the next point. And if anybody has any issues or concerns, let Amy know and she can get to Joe. Public comment, our normal public comment. Library director's report. Amy?
Okay. Summer reading program is going strong. As you can see with all the programming that happened in the statistics, we had a great month as far as programs, and especially the family programs were a big hit this month. Our ice cream social was last month as well, and we estimated 600 people at that, so it was great. The water feature has been having some issues that we are dealing with hopefully this week. I have contacted Blaze and I've contacted Acme about it. They are looking to resolve those issues hopefully this week. Unfortunately, the water feature was not recycling the water as it should have been, and so all the water was evaporating. So that's what was going on. So, but we've had some great programs in Patrons Park, not just the ice cream social, but we had a Relax and Rejuvenate in the Park series, which is like a yoga, tai chi, body flow, those types of things. And we had Stomp Rockets, which is a STEM program for elementary age kids in the park. They had a great time with Stomp Rockets. So it was a lot of fun.
I think it's good we are utilizing the park for programs.
Yep.
And it seems that
And actually, there's a program out there tonight at 7 with the Rejuvenate in the Park.
Yeah.
Relax and
Yeah, this
Rejuvenate
is
in
the
Park.
second one you've had. Yeah. And the first one had a good attendance.
Yes, very good attendance. Actually, this is our third one.
Third
So,
Okay, good.
The basement renovation and plans, the architect and engineer from Zimmerman came and looked on site, so they could start preparing architectural plans and scope notes for the different things that need to be done to renovate the space. With the resignation of the head of Parks and Rec, 2 other employees are going to be taking over leadership. We are having a staff meeting tomorrow to discuss vision and transferring knowledge to those 2 staff employees.
I would like to ask you to do a task for the board. And I'd normally ask Chris this, but since he's not here, if you could send Chris. I would like to have Chris find out from the city administration, what are their feelings in regards to the basement renovation and utilizing that for the parks. I have, in passing, people have talked to me about this, and several people have said they don't feel the city thinks this is valuable. And somebody had said that to me, it's not my words, and it was hearsay, but I want to make sure that if we're going to start pursuing this, that the city is behind us, because I'm not going to spend money
Or time.
or time.
That's a good point.
I have a question, Amy.
Yes.
Since the previous meeting, I had asked the committee for more comments on the updated plan prior to Zimmerman's visit, and we gave those to him, I think you
Yep.
did too. And so I'm wondering where that fits in with the plan. Did they take them and
Yes.
they're working them in?
Yes.
And then you'll hear about that? Or-
Yes.
Okay,
Yep, they did get all the comments from the email. They got the email string.
okay,
And we talked to them personally about the comments that you and
okay,
Tim had made in regards to that.
great, thanks.
Okay, thank you for doing that.
We'll be at the fair. So come to the fair next week if you are planning to go and see us in our booth. There will be various librarians staffing the booth, not just from West Bend, but also from the other 4 libraries in the county. The comments I made on the network switches, I'm working with Tim on this project, and it looks like the switches are due to be replaced, but we have some questions for Amy Ajak at IS at the city because they manage our switches. So, we know that they have to handle VoIP, which is voice over IP protocol, and we know that we need quite a few ports. So, we do need 3 switches to deal with this building. So,
Why do we have to have, was it VoIP?
yes, because all of our internet goes through.
And that's your phones.
And it's our
That's so you
phone
don't have-
system.
That's so you don't have a traditional copper line to each phone. And
Correct.
it allows you to actually run it on an internet network, and so that's, like all our phones at the district are like that.
Yep.
And then they go out 1 or 2 connections versus having to pay a monthly fee for each phone line.
Correct.
Will this, Monarch is looking at doing something.
Correct, and we're gonna look at that too. But I don't think those switches can handle VoIP.
But it would be ironic if they could and we didn't know it.
Correct, and that's why I'm calling Robert.
Good. But, okay.
Okay. Any other questions on the switches?
No, is Amy Ajak going to do her proposal and send it to us, and then we're gonna look at it, or are you gonna be working with her?
So we already have, so.
I
Amy
have
sent me some
one
information
proposal.
already.
Of what
Okay.
she would like to see us have. I think that's a stepping off point to talk to her about what we really need and if that price tag is really what we have to have.
And do we have to be on the cities,
We need to maintain a connection with the city
Why?
because we have a Munis computer. that we do all of our billing
That's what they do,
through.
the billing and the
Okay.
accounts, okay.
And also our phone system is through the city.
Do other departments also pay for their own switches?
Yes.
Are all of the switches coming up at the same time, do you know that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
the
think-
little I read.
the little
today,
I read,
and
it
that's
is.
not uncommon, like when we'll switch out, do switching by us, we'll do them in blocks and chunks.
Okay,
And so just a little bit of information I have, they are probably up due. What we're really looking for is combining what the system has proposed with their brand of switching and supporting that, what the city has proposed and what can we do to get the best bang for our buck. But then it also has to be something that the city manages or the system manages, as when you look at models and brands of all of that. You can't just pick up whatever it is that you choose to pick up and
Right.
have nobody who can support it, if the city's who's supporting it or the system, so.
and I do have a question. In her statement, or what they're saying is that it's a $20,000 expense.
A possible, that's
Okay.
a rough
I'm a
estimate.
very big proponent of GAAP, which is government accounting,
Generally
generally accepted accounting practices. And anything that's, has a lifespan of over 5 years, according to GAAP, is supposed to be a capital expense. So I would like a clarification whether this is truly an expense, what the city is, or is it a capital expense? Because there's quite a definite line between those two costs.
Capital or city
Capital or expense.
or expense?
Yeah.
And I think, Amy, it's very imperative to find out from Robert really specifically,
Yes.
because they're footing the bill on some of those switches.
Do we currently have any system switches in here?
No. You mean Monarch Library System?
Or any, so they're proposing those type, their switches and their access points. We have nothing of that, that's all new that would come into our system, or would those replace current switches we have also, separate from these three?
No, we did not take we haven't taken the switch yet because we didn't have switches that were managed by Monarch.
Gotcha, so the Monarch part might be new.
Yes,
So that potentially could be a savings as we go
Yes.
forward.
possibly.
That's what we'll have to
As
figure
long
out.
as
It
we
really
can
comes down to
maintain
port
the-
count and
As long as we can maintain the access to the city.
And we should be able to do that.
Okay.
Wasn't,
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
anything else?
Our emails were migrated to our new email address. We got rid of the dash this weekend.
Do we have to
So-
change that on all our stuff? Or would,
No.
it'll automatically convert, but
Yeah.
for how long?
As long as we want it to.
Okay.
So, you can get rid of the dash. It's actually very nice for us to type without the dash in it.
Right, right.
And actually to say to someone, you know,
Yeah.
instead of having a dash, we've had
Less
people actually type in
confusing.
the word dash.
Sure.
So,
I can see that.
so it was nice to get rid of that. That conversion happened on the 14th, and we did maintain our old emails, so that was good.
Okay.
I will be going to WLA Leadership Development Institute, August 7th through the 9th in Madison. I was accepted into this program to develop more leadership skills, and there's a description of it in your board packet.
Pretty fancy description.
That's from their website.
I know.
Yep.
You gotta
So
make
how-
it sound fancy.
I can see you going, I'm not objecting to that, but now how does this get measured? There's a benefit to the library.
I think it will help me for long-range planning especially. I've been challenged in trying to look long-range because we've had so many short-term issues that just kind of come up, and to think long-range is more difficult for me at this point in time. I think too, networking with other leaders is helpful to get new ideas and new perspectives on things. So in those two instances, I think it'll be helpful.
Once you get back, and like say 6 months after, could you do a follow-up report on what you have benefited from this?
I need to do that for Monarch anyway, so I will do it for
Okay.
you as well.
Good.
Just so you know, I did get a scholarship from Monarch Library System to attend, so they will be paying my registration.
Nice.
Last but not least, the sprinkler system pipe repair project has begun. The guys were here yesterday, starting to close off everything and get everything ready for actual installation. They are not working this week due to the weather. It being so hot, they can't work in the attic area in that heat. So they will be back next week. And that's it. Any questions on statistics or anything?
I have a couple of comments. We're showing the patron count down. Is that
Yes.
due to the weaning process?
No, the patron count is our gates and the doors. How many people are coming in and out of the doors?
Oh, and on the doors, okay. Okay,
The patron card holders is the actual
okay.
purging.
And that's good, that's all? Any idea why computer logins are down?
The computer logins are down, no clue. I think more people are bringing in their own devices.
You'll notice the wireless went up.
The wireless went
The
up.
wireless went up.
Yeah, I noticed that, and that's.
Yep, that's why most people are bringing in their own stuff.
That doesn't surprise me at all. I mean,
Okay.
to their point that people are bringing their own device and at some point, we're gonna see the cap on the wireless logins. As data gets cheaper on their cell phones, why even bother to connect to the Wi-Fi when I have unlimited data on my phone?
Yep.
To look up what I need.
Good.
Yep.
So,
Okay, logins are down, usage time is up.
Yeah, actually, in the average use per login time, that 366 should be a 61.
I was gonna say, boy, that's a huge,
No, it should be a 61 with a difference of 6.
okay.
Yep.
And then, it's interesting, if you look at the transits, that which we've sent out is down. That which we have received is up.
Yep, we're
So
net borrowers right now.
We're net borrowers, and for us, that's an advantage. Because we're maximizing our dollars. We're not having to buy books, we're borrowing them from other places. And for a while, we were net lenders.
Or our materials budget is
Too low.
too low that we're
That
not
could be
getting
also.
books,
We're not getting what
what people
people are
want.
demanding.
Good catch, Doug.
And then the meeting rooms booking went up, that's good. That's.
Yeah, we've been very busy with meeting room bookings, and even with summer reading going on, there's still people that are wanting rooms, so.
Excellent. And then I have a question on volunteer hours are down.
Yep, we didn't get quite as many teens this year.
Oh, it's the teens?
Yes, that includes the
Yeah.
teens in there. We, I think we capped out at around 70, not quite 90. So that could attest for a little bit lower numbers. So,
This is a little tongue in cheek, but what about this huge increase in complaints?
I know. Well, there are also suggestions and comments, so, yeah,
Have you had anything serious?
no.
Okay, good. And then the other one was that the Dementia Resource Center has dropped.
A little bit.
Some of the stuff that's happening regarding that is MOA has started to do dementia stuff. They're
Oh, yeah?
holding fun things, yes.
Oh.
Other organizations are starting to pick
Okay.
up on that.
Okay.
They have a monthly meeting, I think, at MOA, or maybe it's not monthly, but
It may
I've
not be
seen it.
monthly, but it's at least quarterly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're still doing our memory cafes. People are still asking for those items on
Good.
occasion, so, you
Okay,
know,
very good.
okay.
Anything else from Amy's report? If not, we'll move on. Library Board President, there is nothing to report. So we'll move to number 8, Old Business, Monarch Library System Update.
Okay, the directors did not meet this month due to summer reading mostly, and, but a couple things have happened. So, we did have family fun at Horicon Marsh, and the statistics are in your, packet. So we had a little bit of a drop in attendance this year, I think because the weather was pretty warm. Being outside might not have been the best thing, but we did get quite a few people to come. 29 people from West Bend attended. And the next event we're looking forward to is Pioneer Village. So that is in September. I have also received preliminary budget numbers from Monarch, and I'm still receiving more. So I got more today that I will be adding into the budget as we move forward. So I did get some tech numbers to come in. That's all I had.
Okay.
And on the budget charges that I put in your packet, I will say that Doug informed me
Right.
that the additional license and maintenance fees are getting ixnayed.
Oh,
They are,
Monarch
Monarch is paying for those.
Monarch is also going through its budgeting, and there was a $1,770 hit to here because there were additional licenses for Polaris that were taken out, and they had to be booked against somewhere. And thankfully, a couple of directors raised enough cane about it that Monarch changed their mind because someone just didn't do their job. And it was brought up to them a year ago that this problem existed. So Monarch is gonna handle it, and the libraries are going to receive a credit.
Yep. So that's the good news.
Yep.
Thank you. Anything else, Doug, from the Monarch? Okay. Anything else for Amy or Doug regarding the Monarch? If not, we'll move on to B, WLA Wisconsin Libraries Trustees and Friends Survey.
This was actually the survey that Joanne was speaking about when she talked about the survey that we wanted Jennifer to look up, that she thought was from Monarch. So I just wanted to clarify that that was the survey that Joanne was talking about. I think you were going to email the person at
I
WLA?
did,
Okay.
yes, I did, and I haven't heard back yet.
Okay, okay, so maybe we'll get an update for that, those results at some point in time,
Yes.
so.
You haven't heard that from Monarch?
No, we heard back from Monarch, but Joanne was contacting WLA's representative from the Wisconsin Library
I had
Trustees and
misled you.
Surveys.
I had assumed
It was from WLA.
No.
that the survey was Monarch's a survey. It's not, it's the WLA's a survey. So that's who I contacted to get the results.
Okay.
So that's why Monarch didn't know about the survey, because it was,
Because it wasn't there.
Wasn't their
not know
survey.
about it.
Jennifer routed some kind of a survey, and I
That
can't-
was,
I
I
can't
think,
remember where I saw it, because I'm getting,
that was the survey, I think.
Yes, I think so. Last August, before Jennifer's time even, it was August of last
Oh,
year.
right,
okay.
but that wasn't the one you wanted.
Okay,
That was the one I wanted, but it was from Wisconsin Library Association Trustees and Friends, not Monarch. I had assumed it was Monarch, it was
Okay.
not, but that was my mistake, not hers. So I think we're all clear now.
yep,
We just need the results.
yep, we just need the results.
All right, number 8C, 2019 to 22 strategic plan.
Okay. You have it before you. The pamphlet is the marketing piece that would go along with it. And the plan itself is in your packet. We did a lot of revisions, some additions, some deletions. And I'd like to know what you think. The plan, I will say right now, does not include a lot of timeframes. And I'll be honest with you, I did that intentionally. I did that intentionally so that the board would have some kind of say in when things would happen. And in what they wanted to focus on at different points in time. So, you know, and a lot of
Which was basically
these
your
things.
feedback from the last meeting. We got the idea that that's kind of what you wanted instead, to kind of pick and choose when you wanted to do things.
And I think that there's a lot of things in here that, yes, I could go into more detail, how we would do things right now, but that could change in 6 months and how I want to do things. So I put some examples of things that we could do to meet those objectives and goals, which I think are doable. And I think, anything that would go more further in can be done as time permits, in proposals and in different things. So if I'm wrong, please tell me. And I'm looking for feedback.
I think the timeline part of it, it's partly covered by the timeline of the plan itself. And I think what we've done in the past with this strategic plan is that we've asked you to report on it quarterly or twice a year at least. And I think that would be an opportunity to incorporate the timelines. If 6 months go by and we have that report and there's nothing done, then that's kind of on us to move to help that.
And also we can decide my goals and objectives for the year based on the strategic plan.
Right, I'm fine with not having the timeline.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Thank you very much. Changes.
Yeah, looks really nice. Thanks.
Well, I do have some questions. First of all, if you don't have a timeline, how do you prioritize something? How do you prioritize what you're gonna work on if you don't have a timeline?
We had the timeline, and you, last meeting, said you didn't want the timeline. It was too specific. You asked us, like, how did we decide that we were gonna get chairs in year 2 and what the screen in year 3? So we decided to eliminate that so that we had free reign of saying, hey, we've got the money now, let's get the screen now, and then if we are short on money later, we'll get something simple like the chairs.
Okay, let's say, in that respect then, if you're going to establish branding of the library's new logo, when would that be done? It's in 2019, but if you take a look at these, how do you put what you're gonna work on first?
I think some of that, in my mind, is below our purview.
Well, I don't think it's.
I think that really, I don't need to know that, like, I think yearly, there are some action steps that already have, by the end of such year, this will be created. There are other ones that are ongoing, and there are ones that, when we get to 2020, in my mind, we should be able to take this whole thing and check off every single one of those action steps. And yes, at some point, Amy and the staff here need to decide this is what we're working on and take that back, and that can get incorporated in there. All I know is in 3 years, we should have a check mark next to every single one of these items. That's the way I'm looking at this. And as part of Amy's updates, it can be in the first 6 months, these things all have timelines. Now the staff has work, because some of these things may not be Amy. They may be Brad, they may be other staff here.
There's no question about it.
And they're just bringing it back. So I think that first 6-month update would be the staff coming back together and saying, the items that don't have, like we've got in here, increase follows and likes on Facebook by 10% each year. That's got a timeline. The ones that don't, they have to look at their capacity to get this done in a 3-year time frame.
So what we're saying is that we've got 3 years to accomplish this.
Correct.
And that every year we should see, and part of
Yeah,
it is
not
taking
one.
these goals of what she's working on, is showing adequate progress towards this plan. If after year 1, we're not making adequate progress, then we need to have a hard conversation about that here, about why aren't we?
I would like to see a 6-month review.
Okay.
And that's what Joanne, you had
That's
said
what,
too.
that's what she
But
suggested.
that's not here. And so I'd like to have us have a 6-month review, because then, if we're going to, how are we going to expect what you're going to do, Amy, as the director, if you've got 3 years to get it done. So how do we rate you the first year? And how do we rate you the second year?
Like I said, my goals and objectives can come from this. And that's how you rate me.
Okay, so you'll do those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
They'll stem from everything that's in here.
and they will all be measurable.
Yeah.
You should be able to do a check mark, like Tim said. We either did, or a lot of these things are either we did it or we didn't do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have any issue with
Yeah.
that.
And some of them, like, we could, with getting rid of the dates, we could potentially get a lot of this done sooner rather than later.
Yes.
And if there's something that doesn't happen by the end of the 3 years, then we take a look at it and see if it's something that we want to continue, and we put it in the next strategic plan when we update it the next time.
Yeah.
So,
There was one other thing I had a question on. You had something in that we're already doing, and doing it on a monthly basis. Where did I see it? There was this, I won't take, if I can't find it, we won't.
Okay.
Okay. And then, my last question, I still come back to our mission statement. How do we measure that we've succeeded? Because to provide resources to discover. Discover what? To connect. Where? And succeed. In what?
I think we covered that in the last meeting.
I'm just asking it again because I still have an issue with it.
But I think to me, all those subset areas should, the data that we're provided and the artifacts of things that are created should be able to tell us that, you know, this is high level. All those
Right.
things that are in this plan are what we believe to be important
Yeah.
to provide
Okay.
a great experience here. And if we don't hit those, Doug, then obviously we are not hitting our mission.
I agree.
Right.
That's the way I look, because there is a
Right.
lot of, you know, there is a lot of artifacts that can be brought back, like I'm down into, you know, every March we will solicit businesses or whatever. Well, we want an artifact, what letter was
Right.
sent and who was it sent to? That's a connection piece, or whatever it is. We
Right.
should be able to have the data in the artifacts down below.
and same thing with the, like, with the connection, you know, increasing our newsletter, increasing our social media presence. If we're achieving that goal, we are obviously connecting with more patrons and more people in the community.
And people are discovering
And it's
us.
measurable.
And so, are we going to have a baseline that you say we're measuring it from?
It's basically this, well, 2000, well, at the beginning of
Well, no, in other words,
2019.
if we're gonna increase Facebook contacts, how many Facebook contacts do we have now? And then how many do we?
Right.
That's what I'd like to see.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
I envision some sort of document that has all of those, you know, and that's part of tracking the strategic plan, is you've got the plan.
Yep.
This high level, you've got the plan, there's a subset document that's going to track not just the action steps, but the ongoing data, because there are some
Right.
other ongoing data pieces of, you
Right.
know, yeah, who are we connecting with? These are the 38 community businesses that we have sent information to, so that when we get to next year, oh, we sent it to those 38 again, but these additional 10 who now have shown interest in the library.
Yeah, there's a big spreadsheet
Yeah,
started
okay.
that it's got a lot of blanks in it right now
Yes.
because I'm still figuring it out and putting
Okay.
it together.
I just want to, you know, so everybody's aware, this is where we're going next year, and what the measurements will be. Okay, good.
I have one ask, and it's more of the design of this. I'm all about personable. I would love to see our own patrons, kids, adults, whomever, using technology,
The
reading
Pete the
books.
Cat is our volunteer.
Yep, so these two.
Those two, okay.
And I think part of it is there's just that whole, like, I know that kid. That's more personal, what I see when we talk
Okay.
about connecting, and maybe it's highlighting something that you're trying to do in here. Maybe it's a program that we're doing in the summer, if that's what we're trying to increase. Just make it personal to, hey, I know that kid, I know that adult, I know that person. I see that when I come to the library. I think that just makes a connection piece in terms of what we're doing.
Sure. That's easy to do.
So just that minor little thing, but
I wanna make sure you're here next year when we do the measuring.
So you're saying I gotta stay on there? Is that what you're saying? All right, I'll put that in there.
Okay.
So
come
then,
back
do
to that
we
meeting.
need to make a motion then? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna ask for a motion then.
I'm just gonna throw out one thing.
Sure.
I'm a little concerned about having the big line in there about partnering with the city on the basement, because I'm fearful that that might not be something, because of Craig leaving,
That could fall through.
that this whole section here could fall through.
Well, the first one.
The first one, yeah,
Yeah.
not the whole section.
Well,
Well, it's a measurement, right?
It's a
Either works or it
measurement.
doesn't.
Okay.
works or it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah, and we can always say if it falls through, we
falls
tried.
through.
We
Yeah.
had
Right,
our
we
funding.
tried.
We wanted to do it, okay.
Yeah,
There are ways to write it, in my mind, when you talk about that, not to be so specific of partner with both the city and area business and organizations, and then go down to work with business and community partners to develop space at the library, shared space, if we're really worried about that specific piece, because what
No,
if it
let
isn't
it go.
Parks and Recs?
Yeah.
It's only
Yeah.
gonna make it a higher level, so.
yeah.
No, I think it was a good idea, and I think we as a board approved it and
Yeah.
thought it was a good idea. And if
Yeah.
the city comes back and says they don't think it's a good idea, then it's not on us. I mean, we think it's a good idea. Okay,
And remember too, we're gonna get plans out of this, remember?
that's
Yeah.
true.
So, you know,
Yep.
That
it's
would
not
be
a
a
complete
success.
loss, even if
Right.
it does fall to the wayside.
you're right.
You're right.
Have we spent the $8,000 yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay, we need a motion to approve the strategic plan for 2019 to 2022.
So moved. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
And I'd like to just make a comment that I think you guys have done a good job. You've taken the criticism constructively, and that's the way it was intended. And we will now move forward with what we,
Yep.
it's been a unanimous vote, so we're all in
Yeah.
support of it.
Yes, we are.
I would like to say, just for future reference, I think it would have been better if we would have had more feedback prior to the meeting, because I know Amy sent out the brochure, the draft, I think the 2nd of June,
3rd of June.
the 3rd of June, and then we didn't have our meeting until the 18th. So we could have, if you guys would have emailed or whatever, your concerns, we could have met before that and saved, another month or so or in another meeting. So just for future reference, I know that we always say at the beginning of every meeting, if you have any issues, email Amy or whatever. We really do need to stand by that, and I think that'll streamline stuff.
Keep in mind not to reply all.
Don't reply, I'll just
I also
reply to
wonder
me.
with that in 3 years, when we get to the end of this plan, when we talk about the next plan, if we have some sort of a working session time as the board and have a work session of, this is where we're ending, what do we value next? And hash that all out and then let somebody go back and write.
Love that.
Because I know where,
Yes.
as much as I love to respond to emails and everything else.
Yep.
Oh, and then all of a sudden, here we are.
Love
It's
it.
Week before the board meeting, it's back on my mind.
Yep.
And so it
Thanks,
gives us
Tim.
an opportunity to finish the one and talk about highlights and
Yeah.
Lights
things
and-
that didn't work and what do we go to the next.
I like
one.
that
And
idea.
just book an hour and a half time frame, and
Yep.
that's our conversation for the night.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Now we come to the easy stuff. New business. Adult program proposal.
There was a proposal given by Mara Ribo, our nonfiction librarian here at the library. She would like to bring in Jim Rice, who is the Packer Century Project person. He does a program, about a 1-hour program, on the history of the Green Bay Packers. And since it is their centennial this year, since their founding, we thought that would be a great program to have. And with this, I would propose that we use the money market account funds for that. It's $300.
Can't take it out of the money market. Or the money market.
The money market
Not
account,
the CD.
not the CD.
Just a minute.
I guess, I don't understand why this is coming to us when we have all kinds of programs here and we don't,
Right, because there were funds already available for summer reading and for the Kiwanis Early Risers that are previously designated for those programs. This one does not have anything. Yes.
And who knows, if this gets out, somebody may sponsor this. You know, it's one of the, looks like a really neat,
It's a really neat program, I think, and I think it'll be very well attended. I will say we did get a donation this month from We Energies for $249, which I need to hand over. Forgot to do that during the financial report. But, you know, I think programs like this will be very popular for adults especially, and it is Packer season time when we're gonna have it. 300.
So capacity for number of people to come to this, and a plan to get the word out, and I think of, when you talk about adults, there, you know, I think of some of the different places where we have some of our older adults who, getting them in here, to come in here and say, you know, bring 8, 10 people over here, what is the capacity of?
We would have it in the adult reading area,
Okay.
and we bring chairs from the story room and our storage, and we set them up, just auditorium style.
Okay, I'm just thinking, yeah, the more we can get it out to, you know, we do that every once in a while at the school district too, and whatever it is, to get that word out, it's nice to see some stuff as much as.
Some diverse
it's
things,
something
yeah.
different, and everybody loves, well, not everybody, but everybody's saying, most people like the Packers if you live here in this area, and, you know, there's interest in that. And the history of all that, and it's an hour thing, and again, it's about bringing people into the library, so if there's other ways we can get people here, I think it'd be great.
interestingly enough, this is scheduled for sometime in October. And I do know October 1st, the History Center is having a bus tour to the Green Bay Stadium. And you're gonna run through they're gonna take you right through the tunnel and everything like that. So I think it's a really good time.
That is good timing.
Yeah,
Take the money market.
okay, I need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
Everybody's motion.
Everybody's,
What's in the minutes today?
We have a motion and a second, and a third and a fourth. Everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bless you. Okay, now, new business, 2020 library operating budget.
well, as you can see in my report, that Brad and I have gathered all the necessary data that we have so far in the budget. And, I'm just gonna get mine out here, separated. I have had an initial meeting with the city administrator, Jay Shambeau, and he has informed me that there will be no additional funding for the library for next year. They want to give everyone a raise of 2.5%, and our WRS has gone up 0.2%.
WRS is our,
Retirement system for our full-timers.
we haven't heard insurance yet either.
Have not heard about insurance yet. We are also seeing some services go up as far as vendor contracts and those types of things. They did go up about 2 to 5% depending on the vendor, as they normally do.
We did secure Biblioteca though for 5 years at the same
Yes.
price.
Yes.
Do we know, is that, the cities, is that across the board that every department will not get an increase, or we don't know that?
We don't know that yet.
Can we, you have your list for Chris, can you put that on a list for Chris to ask, or if Chris could find out that information? Are we and several other departments not getting an increase while some are? In addition, the city considers us a different type of department. And they also, I know they're looking at tiers, and they say that fire and police are like tier 1 service. We are a lower level service. Could we get a definition from, have Chris get from the city a definition of the different tier levels and an explanation of what why they categorize them?
Tiers and priorities. would that be?
Yeah, I'm not sure, they call it, fire and police is tier 1 or, maybe not tier 1, they have a term for it, and I probably
Is
don't
that
know.
because it's considered life safety?
Yeah, something like
I guess
that.
whatever the term is, but I'm guessing
Yeah,
it's life safety.
Yeah,
or-
and we're in there, so could we find out how that, how we fit? I guess I'd like to have some definition from the city, and I think the citizens of West Bend need to also be made aware of how the city views the library.
Yes, and, so I have a very, 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 very rough budget attached, as you could see. All the underlying numbers are still in flux, or I don't know for sure yet, because I have not either A, gotten numbers, or they just haven't, I haven't gotten the numbers.
Monarch isn't finished either, right?
No, not in this budget.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes,
There isn't really a lot that we can discuss about this until we know
correct.
more information. I think hold on discussing it until we get more information, better feel for where we're going, and then maybe next month we'll have a better ability to analyze this.
Yes, I agree. This is where I'm going to ask if we want to have a special session just for the budget in early August, if I can get a draft together, because it would need to be approved in August.
The budget has to be approved at our August meeting in order to get it to the city.
That's why I want to,
Well, could you ask Chris then to get all that information distributed to the board members by the end of July?
Sounds good, Don, thank you, yeah.
So that we can look at it. And then our board meeting is, I think, August 16th,
no, it's August 20th.
20th? Okay.
August 20th.
We could maybe have a special board meeting, and
Yeah.
there
That's what
have
I'm
been
asking.
special board meetings.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think we need to have it as.
Like the first week of,
The idea
first or
of a
second
budget
week of,
work session,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like we were talking strategic plan,
Mhm.
yeah.
that's where you can get into the nitty gritties and focus on that.
Mhm.
Get it out of the way and then hopefully
Make the
Well,
final
right.
decision on August. That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so
Then we will go from there.
I-
What are we
well,
asking Chris to do? That
She has it written down.
The tiers,
that you wouldn't have otherwise on the budget? I mean, as those numbers have become available, you get them, right?
Correct.
So what are we asking Chris to do as far
We're asking Chris,
as far
are
as
all the
budget
other
numbers?
departments
getting this.
held at their
Right,
status
yes,
level?
then you were gonna
And
ask
then the
him about
tiers.
budget.
The tiers.
The tiers
Okay,
of the budget.
okay, just that one thing.
We did have, didn't I ask Chris to check, oh, that's another thing. Chris hasn't gotten back to us on, in regards to the fact, did he present to the board regarding the capital for the roof? We need to find out. That was asked about 2 months ago, and we haven't had a follow-up on that.
Weren't we also going to look to him to get a feeling for the mayor's
Yeah.
feeling about basement renovation?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's on the list.
Yeah,
Yep, it's on the list.
So what was this the other task that we went,
the capital for the roof, to inform the common council that probably within the next year, we will need to have our roof replaced.
oh, that's right.
And the city is responsible for the building, so they need to put that in their
Capital
budget.
budget.
And we want to give them,
Ample time to
Yeah.
do that.
That's right.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we are going to have a special meeting to discuss the budget in early August. Would you please like to pull out your calendars, and I'd like to set that while we're all here, set a date. Tuesdays seem to work good for everybody. The first Tuesday in August is the 6th, so that would be 2 weeks before our actual meeting. Do you think you'll have figures by then?
Why don't we go the next week to give her a maximum amount of time?
That's
So then we'll
fine.
be meeting 2 weeks in a row. Is that okay with everybody?
So
Okay.
I can do. So August 13th, there'll be a
Okay.
special board meeting. And 6:30. Does 6:30 work for everybody? Or-
Yeah.
Okay. And if you would send an
I'll send it
announcement.
out.
Please make people, hopefully everybody can attend the meeting because it is important. Okay,
The 13th, yep.
yeah.
Okay.
And then our next regular meeting will be on August
The
20th.
20th.
August. Anything else? Otherwise, we can go over the task list and we're still doing pretty good time-wise.
Okay, we're looking at two things, so one is to reconcile the financial reports June and July, and then to inquire on the electronic banking and the control options. And then I will follow up on the survey and report back and get those results from WLA, and then Chris has a whole laundry list of things.
Yes, he does.
Position in the basement.
So teach you about
Whether there's no increase on the budget across the board among all the departments, an explanation of the tier levels, where the city puts the departments into different service categories, and then informing the common council on the capital expense for the roof that's upcoming.
And I would like to just bring up one other thing. Amy put together this list, this little document of comparable libraries. Keep that for the budget meeting. In addition, last month, she presented a document that showed how much money we had spent out of our fund balances over the last so many years to provide projects for the building. So if you can print that out and bring that to the budget meeting and take a look at these. I mean, this is all things we need to kind of investigate for our budget process. And with that, we are adjourned. Woo-hoo. Not quite an hour, but hour and 7 minutes.
I think it went very well.
Thank you, Doug, for suggesting we don't get into a big session on the budget.